Newly hired youth minister got me kicked out of church. For no reason I found out he had been screwing a deacon's wife, and I helped the deacon ruin his life. Church. Youth minister spread false rumors about me and got me kicked out of the church I had attended my whole life for no reason other than pure meanness. I found a guy who hated him even more than I did, and I gave the guy information that he used to do a very artful and thorough job of completely ruining the youth minister's life. He got fired and blacklisted, couldn't find another job. By chance I saw him several years later working a hayut job about 6 to 7 years ago. I was a ministerial student at a conservative Christian college. I had attended the same Bible-believing church since I was a small child. It was large, about 1,000 members, but not a megachurch. This church had been an enormous part of my life. For as long as I could remember, I played piano for youth choir, preached at the children's church service, which was held in the church's chapel at the same time as the adult service. I did all of this for free, not even getting reimbursed for expenses. During my senior year in college, we got a new minister of music, education, and youth. This guy was as charming as an ice cream sundae with razor blades in it. I'll call him Mr. Charming. All of the deacons and their wives thought he walked on water. He was an authoritarian apple. In his first meeting with the church youth group, he announced that he had been hired to straighten out the youth group. One of his favorite sayings was, "When I tell my disciples jump, the only questions they get to ask are how high and how far." The adults loved him and the youth hated him. Within a few weeks, half of the high school and college students, that is, all of those without parents in the church, had quit coming to church. Most youth directors would have gotten into trouble over this, but he had the audacity to proclaim in front of the entire congregation in the Sunday morning worship service that he had eliminated all of the thorny ground from the youth group, a reference to the parable of the sower in the Bible. He didn't waste any time going after what he really wanted, the Treather's job. The pastor, whom all called Treather, was about 60 years old. When a few weeks of Mr. Charming's arrival, rumors started circulating about Treather's health. He was an avid runner and cyclist, and that he just didn't seem to be as mentally sharp as he used to be. He frequently quoted long Bible passages from the pulpit entirely from memory without misstating a single word. Worst of all, however, was the accusation that he was really too liberal for the church. In my denomination, it is the kiss of death to even be suspected of being a liberal. None of these accusations made any sense, but people kept talking about them. I have no idea why the Traff didn't find out. Or maybe he did find out and was just too scared to do anything about it. In some denominations, like Catholic or Methodist, the denomination assigns pastors priests, not my church's denomination. Each church calls the minister. This guarantees that every pastor always walks a razor's edge, minds the slightest slip, and you are out. You don't even have to slip. Maybe you even do the right thing and it still offends enough people. It doesn't take many, just a handful if they hate you enough. Then you are out. Or maybe, like Tlaffer, some creep just lies about you and gets your job. And since the church often owns your house, the parsonage, or manse, your entire family is suddenly homeless and destitute. Then I became a target. I still don't know why. A couple of months after starting to work for my church, Mr. Charming called me and informed me that my services were no longer needed at youth choir, children's church, bus ministry, anywhere. In fact, he said he did not even want me to participate in any of these functions at all, not even go to the Sunday morning worship service. I later found out that members of his family had been hired by the church at very nice rates of pay to perform these functions that I'd been doing for free. His wife got paid more for playing a beat-up piano at the 1-hour youth choir rehearsal than the main organist pianist got paid for playing for adult choir rehearsal plus Sunday mornings and Sunday evenings when the youth choir sang. The wife could barely pick out the notes on a piano. This lady radiated bitterness, resentment, and repressed anger, but she rarely said anything. She just sat there and glared, which was somehow even creepier than when she spoke. I was very hurt, emotionally, so I dropped by Troth his office and tearfully asked him what I'd done wrong. I couldn't get a straight answer except he told me that people are saying things about me and that if I wanted to get a good recom,